All right. So as a coach, right, as someone who's been coaching for years and years and years, I did in-person coaching, online coaching, and literally trained thousands and thousands of people. And I've noticed what gets people results and what doesn't get people results, and why some people do get results and why others don't. And one of the biggest surprises for me is just that a lot of times the reason people don't get results is literally just down to laziness. It's nothing deeper than that. I always thought it was like, oh my God, like some people just have worse genetics and hormonal issues. Some people just have a crazy situation. It's never that. It's really never that. Because a lot of times people with, bad genetics, hormonal issues or a bad situation, they usually use that as fuel, as motivation to, or as like a crutch or as an obstacle that they want to overcome really, really badly. And then a lot of times people who don't have any issues, they just have victim mindset because they're lazy, right? So it's just one of the craziest things that, like, for a lot of people, I'm like, okay, so you're not at your goals because you meal prepped, you ate what you needed to for breakfast and lunch. Then you're going to go to sleep, but you're like, you know what, let me just eat ice cream for no reason and self-sabotage and just ruin everything. Or you're like, you know what, let me just not go to the gym today for no reason. You have the time, you have the energy, you have the resources. The gym's 3 minutes away, or the gym's 10 minutes away. So you can't say, oh, it's far. It's not raining. It's a sunny day outside, right? You have 10 hours before you have to go to sleep. So you literally could make it to the gym. But a lot of times people just fuck around during that time. They scroll through TikTok, they make excuses, and then they don't show up for themselves, right? They have no respect for themselves. They have no standards. It's the laziness and the low standards, right? Because a lot of times people, they have that motivation. As soon as that motivation leaves them, they're cooked. They're done. They're giving up. A lot of people lack integrity. Integrity is doing what you said you're going to do long after the motivation, the fire, the drive, long after that shit leaves you, long after the mood leaves you. So if you're happy and you're like, I can't wait to go to the gym today, can't wait to go to the gym, then you get off work, you had a bad day, and now you're in a bad mood, still going to the gym is integrity. That's keeping commitments to yourself. The more commitments you keep to yourself, the more you trust yourself, the more likely, you are to reach your goals, obviously. But a lot of people they don't keep that commitment to themselves. They're like, yeah, I had a bad day at work. I'd rather just watch Netflix and eat Ben and Jerry's because it'll make me feel better. No, it's not. Giving into instant gratification is going to make you feel worse physically, mentally, and spiritually, all right? And then you're going to know that you're off your goals. Never give up what you want most for what you want now. Stop doing that shit. I'm going to say that one more time. Never give up what you want most, your end goal, being lean, being shredded, for what you want now. A cookie, ice cream, candy, that shit's always going to be there. All right, so it's just crazy to me when people use the lamest excuses like, "Oh, I don't have enough time." You're not the president. You're not the president of the fucking United States. All right. Speaking of that, Joe Biden is like leaner than most people, somehow. I mean, he's not in good shape. He's just leaner than most people, which is surprising. And also, Kamala Harris is leaner than most people. Trump is pretty heavyset, but he's still leaner than most people. Like, Obama's leaner than most people. George Bush is leaner than most people. Bill Clinton's leaner than most people. These are the busiest people on earth, and they're somehow leaner than you, right? They're somehow leaner than you. So if you're so fucking busy, how do you have so much time to stuff your face and eat 4,000 calories per day? Please explain that to me, all right? Please explain it to me, because I would like to know, because that's actually impressive. It takes a lot of talent, hard work, and consistency to get a big ass stomach and to gain a lot of weight, because you have to eat 4,000 calories no matter how you feel, right? If it's sunny outside, if it's a beautiful day outside, you know what I mean? You can go out for a walk. You have to sit inside and eat 4,000 calories. It's fucking crazy to me. All right. So like I said, the main reason people are not getting results isn't some crazy shit. I know a lot of people think it's some crazy shit like, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. No, you only need to go to the gym 3 times a week, right? Like, if you really want results and you really can't go to the gym and you like play recreational basketball twice a week or something, that's more than enough, as long as you clean up your nutrition, right? It's just a lot of excuses and lack of self-accountability that a lot of people lack. They'll be like, yeah, like, I'm so busy, you don't understand my situation. I'm like, okay, if your stomach is hanging out your pants, I understand your situation enough, all right? Because you just told me you're not pregnant, because guys can't get pregnant, right? Okay, cool. So you're not pregnant. So if your stomach is hanging over your pants, I understand your situation enough. I understand that you're literally not keeping commitments to yourself. I understand that you're eating absolutely like shit. And I understand that, you're lying to me about your calorie intake. Because with a stomach like that, very impressive, Santa Claus looking at stomach, you're not eating 2,100 calories. Don't insult my intelligence. You're not eating 2,100 calories. Matter of fact, I don't even need to be intelligent. I could be a 3-year-old, and I know that you eat a lot. You have fat stomach. Like, I could tell. I went to go drop off go pick up my nephew recently, right? And there was a parent that went there right? One of the kids were like, "Oh, you have muscle," because they see your muscle. Because this is just obvious shit, bro. Even kids could see that shit. And there was some one dude, you know, he had like a little stomach. It was like a older dude. He was in okay shape, but he had like a little stomach. And one of the other kids was like, "Oh, you have a fat stomach," and he started like touching his stomach, and I was like, "Damn, that's fucking embarrassing." But listen, that's a lot of people's realities, right? If you look in the mirror every day and you have excess fat, doctors know that's bad, right? You know that's bad. Your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend knows that's unattractive and it's unhealthy. Even kids and toddlers know that that shit's bad and it's not good. Like it's not like it's not that deep. So it comes down to just how bad you want that shit, to be honest. Because anytime you don't want something, you'll find an excuse to not commit to it. You'll find an excuse to not execute every single time. Like if there's a chick you just really don't like, right? And she hits you up, you're gonna find an excuse not to see her. Versus if there's a chick you really like, you're gonna try to make the time as much as possible. You're gonna try to keep her. You're gonna try to do everything you can in your power to make sure she stays, right? That's how the fitness journey is. When you really want to reach your goals, when you have that genuine desire, something you can't negotiate, right? Or you have a goal that you really want to reach, you're gonna show up no matter what. You're gonna show up no matter what, all right? Because it doesn't really matter what your health situation is. Another thing that I realized, which is crazy, like a lot of people will have type 2 diabetes and it's about to become kidney disease, and guess what? They'll be like, dang, I really need to make a change. They won't make a change. Instead of making a change, they'll actually double down on what they're doing and eat more of it. Then they go into kidney disease. They're like, oh man, I have kidney disease. Oh, I can't believe this. Like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, just change your nutrition and work out. And then they just keep going until they literally are on dialysis. Like, they're that addicted to food and they're that unwilling to change. Versus some people will be like, hey, I'm 15 pounds overweight. Now they're in decent shape. Like if I look at them, I'm like, yeah, they definitely work out. They're like, I'm 15 pounds overweight. This is unacceptable. I can't believe I let myself get to this. And they lock in and they knock out the 15 pounds, set new goals, knock out another 10 pounds, and now they're shredded. Like this is reality. So it comes down to not only desire, but also your standards and your willingness to execute and follow through with the plan. And a lot of you guys just aren't willing to do that shit, right? And don't ask me for motivation. You got to be fucking self-motivated when it comes to that shit. I mean, it just like, obviously motivation comes and go, but you have to make the decision every day. Like every day you're actively making the decision to or away from your goal every single day. You can't avoid that. So if you go on autopilot or you try to ignore your bad decisions, it doesn't mean that your bad decisions don't exist. A lot of people do that shit. They try to ignore their bad decisions because, they're so ashamed of it, but it doesn't matter. They're still happening, right? Like if your girl's paying for dinner and you look away, it doesn't mean she's not paying for dinner. She's still fucking paying for dinner, bro. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know that meme that I'm talking about. But in reality, like, on a serious note, like, just because no one sees you eating the cookie, right, doesn't mean that when you go outside and you wear that white button down, that people see that big ass stomach, that they don't know what your habits are. People know what your habits are based on what they see. All right, like I always say, your body is just a physical manifestation of your mindset and your habits. All right, so that's why people get respect when they're in shape, and people get disrespected when they're out of shape, because people know you have no self-respect if you're eating quote unquote unhealthy. Unhealthy is literally self-harm, because if you look up the definition of unhealthy, it means harmful to health. All right, so when people see you and you're out of shape, they're like, oh yeah, the motherfucker's lazy. And they have a point. You're at least lazy when it comes to the kitchen, right? You're at least lazy when it comes to the kitchen. All right, and I don't want to hear people say, well, I work so hard in the gym. I don't give a shit what you do in the gym. All right, because the gym is not to burn calories. The gym is for stress relief. The gym is to get stronger. Yes, that's important. But if you're eating like shit outside the gym, you don't care about your health. Because food, nutrition, if anybody here is a nurse or in the medical field, you know that 80% of the shit that happens, 80% of the reason people come to the hospital and have issues is literally because of the nutrition. Literally. It's not that deep. There's nothing else. It's not like, oh my God, like it's genetics. That's like the other 10% maybe. There's like 10% that's like genetics or just bad scenarios or accidents or something like that. Majority is just bad nutrition, self-inflicted wounds. All right, so the main reason people are not at their goals, which is just one of the biggest surprises to me, is literally self-inflicted wounds, lack of self-accountability, and just fucking pure laziness.